Hi learners, welcome to today's class. We'll be learning how to cut a basic skirt pattern, perfect for beginners. Here are the tools you'll be needing that I'm displaying here on the screen. Your scissors, French curve, tape rule, ruler, eraser, pencil, pen in for corrections or if you need to adjust your measurements. Now let's start cutting our basic skirt. The waistline. First rule the waistline and label it clearly as waist as I've done here. Then let's move down to our hip line. So from the waistline, measure 8 inches. This is the hip line. Add half-inch sewing allowance. This ensures that when you fold in the waist, you will retain the 8 inches. Now label it clearly as your hip, then hip allowance as I've done here. As you're seeing clearly on your screen, make sure you label so you won't make any mistake. Now for the waist, divide your waist by 4 as I'm doing here. So my waist is 30, divide by 4 will give me 7.5. So I'm marking it out as you can see. From there I will add my half-inch plus 1 inch sewing allowance, half-inch for that, then 1 inch for sewing allowance, making 1.5. So everything in total will give me 9 inches. So from the edge of the of the paper, I'm going to measure 4 inch. Then the 4 inches is where the dart point will be. So you are not adding it to the allowance. It's just for you to know where your dart point will be. Do you get? Now that is that for that. So let's move down to our hip side. So from the hip side, just like the way we did with the waist. So my hip is 38. 38 divided by 4 will give me 9.5. So we do not need that for the hip side. So I'm going to take out my 9.5 plus 1 inch, making it 10.5. That is what we have there. So for the bottom of your skirt, that is the skirt length, we are going to take what we have at the waist side down to the bottom of the skirt. So which means that at the waistline we have 9 inches. So at the skirt bottom, we are going to reduce it by ½ inch to avoid buggy and crate shape, since we won't be needing that. So that is the ½ inch we deducted from the skirt bottom. So we wouldn't need the ½ inch at all. So all we need at the bottom side is 8.5 inches. That is 8.5 to reduce. So we reduce ½ inch to avoid the buggy and also to create shape, so it will look so fine and firm on you. And then so let's connect our lines together. So we are going to be using our French curve here. So from the waist, the hip, then to the skirt length, as I'm doing here. As you can see, I am trying to connect everything together, placing it properly. So from the waist down to the hip side, as I'm doing here. So your waist, the hip, just make sure that you are connecting them well, so there won't be any mistake in such a way that there will be extra sewing allowance or not having the perfect shape. So from the hip side also, I'm connecting it down to the skirt length, as you can see here. So let's cut it out. Yeah, so we have the waist, the hip, as I'm pointing out to you, and then we have the skirt length. So the only difference between the waist and the skirt length measurement is just ½ inch, and because we do not need the ½ inch for that there, so I am pinning them down so I won't make a mistake. I am pinning to cut. make sure you cut it perfectly, because we'll be needing this pattern to make the actual skirt in our next class. So after this, that point we had earlier, so I'm going to notch it so that I would be able to identify the dart point when I am making my skirt. Now we move to the back pattern. So after that, all we need to do to cut the back pattern is to place the front pattern on the paper for the back. Add 1 inch zip allowance, as I'm trying to make it at the back before cutting. So this is me trying to make the measurement, to take the measurement for the zip allowance, because we'll be needing zip for our skirt. Pin down to avoid shifting. So trying to make sure I'm the 1 inch, so I'm trying to pin it down. Pin down to avoid shifting. So make sure what you have at the top, which is the 1 inch, is the same thing you have at the bottom, 1 inch. So you have 1 inch across board. Just be careful when you are pinning so it will not shift. So the next thing for us to do now is to trace and cut. Trace and cut. Don't forget to knot the key points for easy matching during sewing. So we have excess allowance at the top, so cut that out too. So the point where you have your darts, have it notched out also, as I'm doing here. So that is your dart point, same as the one we have at the front. Yeah, so we are done cutting, and here I'm trying to bring the pieces out separately. So for the back, I'm going to fold in my 1 inches. I'm going to fold in my 1 inch, just as I'm doing here in the video. Pin down also, so there won't be mistake, because we'll be needing this pattern for the next class. There won't be any point for us to start cutting on the fabric, so we just need to paste the pattern on the fabric, then cut out. So thank you for watching. In our next class, we will learn how to sew the skirt on a sewing machine. So get your fabrics ready and don't miss out. Enjoy this class, give it a thumbs up, comment I am learning below, and don't forget to subscribe for more beginner sewing tutorials every week. Bye.